Hello guys! Welcome back to my YT channel. This is again Science, Health, Safety and Music. Oh my gosh! Hello! Klaro ba? Oh, klaro na. Char. Okay. So our topic for today is liver enzymes. Wow. Talaga, yes.
The Bluetooth device is ready to pair.
Hello guys, welcome back to my YT channel. This is again I'm a singer, Eternal Voice. Welcome to my Science, Health and Safety Music World. Okay, our topic for today, as of this moment in time, liver enzymes. Oh my gosh. Right? Liver enzymes. It's gonna be a combination of health, okay, plus medical science, okay, plus biochemistry. Wow, okay, biochemistry. Wow, I love biochemistry. Okay, health, medical science plus biochemistry. Oh my god. Okay. So I have to erase this. Okay, mga palangga! Welcome to our world of vlogging. Okay. It's gonna be like that. Oh my gosh. Diba? So first, we're gonna discuss the main functions of our liver, right? Liver. So, according to anybody, generally speaking, liver is our filtering machine. Okay, filtering machine. Okay, like that. And we're gonna say detoxification, okay, machine, okay, like that, or detoxification, what do you call this one? Processing of foods or biochemical substances. So machine here is not really the literal, okay, but the point, so it's just like an analogy. Okay? So, meaning to say, detoxification to remove toxins, right? Okay, things like that. So, if it's said like this, so liver is gonna be in conjunction with our immune system, right? IS. Because immune system also is to protect our body from infection. Okay? So, it has to deal with, filtering the disease-causing substances and disease-causing antigens or microbes, right? Okay. So they are complementary with each other to the point. Things like that. Okay. So where is my eraser head? Okay. I'm completely fine, but I will ilagay. Charot. Okay. Nasaan akong erasure wheel? So, itong papasok. Lagi. Okay. Napapas na ba? Okay, mga palangga. Mga palangga. Charot. Lost in your eyes. Oh, it's here. It's hiding in my chair. Okay? So it's gonna be like, so main functions of our uh, liver. The liver is found on the right side, in the in the bottom part of our here, right, and then near to the pancreas, things like that. Okay, just beneath here in the upper of our diaphragm, right portion. Okay, this is gonna be main function. Okay, main function is detoxification. Okay. Number two, metabolism. So if we're talking with metabolism, it's going to be the catabolism and the anabolism, dealing with different substances, not limited to only one substance. Huh? It could be protein, it could be fats, it could be carbohydrates, things like this. Okay? To the point, it could be also acting as a storage. Storage. For example, if there is excess glucose, the excess glucose will stay in the liver. Okay, and then it will be captured by as glycogen. Okay, things like that. Okay, so for example, the glucose will go to your muscles and tissues to be produced as or converted as energy, right? So the remaining will go to your liver, and then also the fructose will go also into your liver first. Okay, things like that. Okay, storage. I will break down this one. Fats. Okay. So what's fats? It's gonna be the triglycerides and the lipoproteins. Okay. To the point. Things like that. And then we have also for the carbs. Okay, carbs. Glycogen or the glucose. Glucoses. Okay. Will become glycogen. Okay, things like that. So mean to say, the storage of multiple polysaccharide sugars or glucoses, okay, is called glycogen. Things like that, okay? And proteins, blah, 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 so on, so the rest. This is for storage, right? Number 4, for manufacturing. Too much job, right? Ayun pa kapuya si liver because too much job. Too much tasks. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day. Okay? Round the clock. 24 oras. Manufacturing. Okay? Like a manufacturing hub. Okay? Or a processing site. Get the point? Things like that. It will process a lot of enzymes. Okay? A lot of enzymes, a lot of proteins, a lot of hormones. That's why our topic is liver enzymes. Okay, mga palangga akong hitad. Ganon. Okay. Things like that. So, 4. Okay, processing meaning also production. Example here will be the production of bile acids. Okay? Production of bile acids for the, to be converted to fats. To be converted to fats, to act as a fuel, to become an energy for our metabolism. Okay? Get the point. So fats, fuel, become an energy for our metabolism, or insulation. Meaning to say, it's going to be the relationship between heating and cooling of our system is the main function of fats. Okay, so if there will be no heating, problem. There will be no rapid oxidation of carbohydrates or different substances that will produce carbon dioxide and water. At the point, so the carbon dioxide will not be released into our mouth if there's no heating process through rapid oxidation of different biochemical substances inside our body. Okay, get the point. Things like that. So it's gonna be like ganon. So main function, detoxification, secondary function, metabolism, storage, manufacturing, processing, and production. Okay. Processing and production is related. Okay, synonyms with each other. Well, shall we say manufacture? If you manufacture, then you produce, right? Then once you produce, once you manufacture, you process something. You get the point? Your raw materials will be processed in order you can manufacture and produce a yield or a product or the side product. It's gonna be like that. Okay? Then in order to maintain the desired yield, you have to optimize your process. You get the point to adjust the operating conditions and parameters to establish the quality and the desired yield. Things like that in appropriate yield and production. Okay, get the point. Things like that also. But in here, our site is ITE is inside our body. Things like that, not the physical process. Get the point. So it's more interesting rather. Right? Okay. It's more interesting rather because it talks with the health. And talking about health and life is precious. Okay, how to protect and save our life is very, very precious. Okay, compared to other things in this world, planet Earth. Get the point? Okay, because all will be, artificial and temporary. But this kind of health, we're gonna bring this until we reach 70 years old or 80 years old. So it's gonna be like a sort of permanency. Then we try to adopt the normalcy of considering on how to protect our health. Things like that. You get the point? Okay. Okay, mga palangga. So let's proceed now. Ganon. Okay. So let's erase this, the main functions. Okay. Things like that. Okay. So our liver are composed of I will draw here. This is not exactly the exact, what do you call this one? Drawing of the, it's just like this, right? Okay. So this is okay, not so sensitive because it can have liver transport. No, transport. Liver transplant. If something wrong here, then you can cut a little bit and you can ask a liver donor from your brother, cousin, or relative, or your wife, or your children, and so that they can donate you for something. And it's assumed to be your healthy liver also to be transplanted to your liver. But sometimes it will not sustain for how many years. For example, if the damage of your liver is a little bit big, huge, so momentarily until 6 months, 1 year, you'll also die later on. Get the point? But if the liver damage is only a small portion, then you can survive for at least how many years. But time also will come, you will also die. Get the point? So not really permanent. The better, nothing. We should have a healthy liver. You get the point? So that not if our household it will not be extended. I don't have anatomy. Okay, I don't medical subjects units when I was in college because it was not introduced in our curriculum in BS Chemical Engineering profession. So I'm just more on the substance, chemical reactions, processes. I'll just a little bit study research about the pathology or the epidemiology of relating the substances that will be going to the vital organs inside our body, things like this. Okay? So you try to connect, and this is all about science. You get the point? Because science is very broad. You have to deal with medical science, environmental science, things like this, biological science, chemical sciences, and you combine that one, and it's gonna be perfect. You can protect and save your life for the rest of your life here in this planet Earth. Things like that. You get the point? Now, we have here the right and the left here portion of our liver. So right, okay, and the left. So let's say a lobe also, lobe, L-O-B-E, structure. Okay, right lobe structure of your liver and the left lobe structure of your liver also. things like that. Get the point? Okay. And then, so there's a lot of connections here, just like, biliary duct, things like that. Okay, get the point. So I have to illustrate here someone. So this is not a perfect drawing, right? So this is just a rough drawing to show the parts. Okay, so actually I have to print this one also, but we don't have a printer, things like that. Okay, to show really the drawing, the color was gonna be like that. Okay, actually the color is just like a reddish, dark reddish color. Our liver, things like that. Okay. Get the point. Dark reddish color because the red would simplify that it is composed mainly of, should we say, hepatic cells or hepatocytes that is really surrounded with hemoglobin, things like that. You know hemoglobin? The red blood cells, okay, things like that. Okay, so we have here here like a tube going here like that. Okay, then this is the aorta, aorta. Okay, things like here also you can see something like here. Okay, a connection also another tube. This is the inferior vena. Okay, vena cava, things like that. Okay, you get the point. And then here we have, okay, here we have also the hepatic artery. Okay, it relates to the heart connection going to the heart, same things like that because of the word artery. Okay, so the word hepa will simplify hepatocytes or hepatic cells composed of millions and trillions of hepatic cells. These are hepatocytes that later on will be becoming our liver. Okay, things like this. Get the point. And the cells, the combination of different hepatic cells will become an organelle. And then after the organelle, hepatic cells, and after it's being banded together, it will become hepatic tissues, like that, or tissue muscles. And then after that, it will become an organelle, and later it will become an organ. The last stage, vital organ, liver, vital organ. So the first stage will be a cell, okay, then tissues and muscles, and after that, organelles, the smaller version of an organ that it will be combined together, it will become an organ. So, multiple bound membrane organelles will become one single vital organ, and that is liver. Other also will have other parts also. Things like that also. Multiple membrane bound organelles combined together will become one vital organ. Kidney, lung, different parts. It's going to be the process like that. It starts with a cell. Okay. So mainly, okay, the eukaryotic cell. Okay. Because it is in the presence of oxygen. Okay? Get the point? Things like that. So, muna siya ang sequence before it will become a vital organ. Again, review. Multiple of cells, and then it will become millions and trillions of tissues and it will become muscles, and after that the muscles will form an organelle, a membrane-bound organelle, banded together, and later on it will become an organ. Vital organ. Okay? You get the point, things like that. Okay. So here we have the hepatic artery and you have the common bile duct. So, common bile duct. Just like a building, there is a ducting system of a pipeline to maintain the insulation to avoid overheating, things like that in each floor. Because if there's no ducting system, then there will be no proper airflow circulation. Then it will be heated up through higher temperature, things like that. So there must be a proper circulation between the heating and cooling system to ventilate, and to insulate, things like that. That's why we have ducting system in each floor of the building. That's the purpose behind. And it is also part of, passive fire protection system in OSH, in fire and safety. Because we have two types of fire and safety protection system. You have the passive and the active protection fire system. Okay? So I don't have to deal with the discussion of OSH or topic here is science. That could be related a lot, a bit, not a lot, a bit. Okay, so there's a common bile duct system here. And then we have here also, there's a connection with tuba chucho, like, like a root, R-O-O-T, like a gamot. Not the medicine, but the root. Okay? Tagalog, gamot. English, it could be medicine, it could be also a root. Right? So, gamot have two meanings in English. Two meanings in English. It could be a medicine, it could be also a root of a tree. Sakto ba? Gamot ba yun? Because I'm Bisaya. Maybe this is Bisaya ang gamot. Okay. Ano bang tawag sa Tagalog? Okay, that's why I'm refraining from talking Tagalog. Kasi there are things I cannot interpret in Tagalog. Gamot in Bisaya is a root kasi. Sorry. Sorry! Nakakaloka. Diba? Okay, then we have also here the gallbladder here. The green color is the gallbladder. Okay. Get the point? Things like that. So that's the anatomy of our liver. And now we go to the physiology. Okay? Things like that. But before tackling with hello, physiology, so we go to the liver enzymes. Okay, that's the point. So actually, guys, there is a very popular and a vital enzyme in our liver that is responsible for all the functions and processes that's not related to be measured by the medical technologist. Or, usually the medical technologists will measure this liver enzymes released in our bloodstream, things like that, because they're gonna be testing out how our liver working and functioning well. That's why they call that as a liver function test, or the, shall we say in medical term, the hepatic panel, things like that. Okay, so but other than liver enzymes, we have also what we call as this cytochrome. So cytochrome, okay, P450 enzyme. So this is the most vital vital enzyme in our liver, huh? Okay, cytosome. Cytochrome, P450 enzyme. This is the special enzyme found in our liver that very very essential for the processing, manufacturing of different substances, things like that. Okay, but this is not the enzyme we are dealing with. Okay, you get the point. Okay, so things like that. So we're gonna review also technically the different types of proteins. That's what I told you. There are 7 types of proteins, as I mentioned a while ago, right? As you can follow my vlog regarding medical science and health science. So it's gonna be types of protein. A, hormonal protein, or simply the hormone. Second, okay, antimicrobial protein. So this is gonna be the antibodies and the immunoglobulin, things like that. Antimicrobial protein. And then we have also enzymatic protein. This is called the enzyme. Okay. Number 4, we have the transport protein. It's gonna be the lipoproteins, the bad cholesterol, and the good cholesterol. The good cholesterol, shall we say, we can say that it is gonna be the high density lipoprotein, and the bad cholesterol is the low density lipoprotein. So these are the transport protein. And we have also the storage protein, okay, things like that. And there's a lot I don't have to mention. Okay, and we have also the construction and contraction protein. It's number 6, right? Okay, it's gonna be like that. So, what's gonna be our number 7? The growth hormone protein. Okay, the growth hormone protein is specifically the membrane-bound protein. Okay, things gonna like that. Okay, wow, I love growth hormone protein. So, for example, in order to grow our hair, we need keratin protein so that at the age of 40 years old, we don't lose our hair. So all you have to do is to purchase or to buy collagen rich in keratin protein. And not only that, also there's a lot of growth protein also. Okay, things like that. Okay, there's a lot. Okay, so I don't have to mention there's a lot, right? Okay, that's not our topic. Okay, so it's gonna be like that. So we have to draw here. So ganon. So we have like a stream. What do you call a stream? A stream is a flow of a current water or a fluid with certain direction. That's a stream. STREAM. So streams of fluid, streams of water going in one direction, then smooth flowing. That's gonna be a laminar flow. And if it is really a very zigzag movement or turbulency, and then there's a lot of eddies observed, it is okay. So it's gonna be like a turbulent flow. So it's gonna be like this. Gonna be a stream with turbulent flow, a stream with laminar flow, things like that. But it happens that our blood is obeying the laminar flow, things like that. Okay. Get the point, in steady state. So steady state condition, meaning it's really governed by natural process, meeting certain optimization parameters inside our body. Parameters meaning the temperature, the pressure, the enzymes, the nature of solute and solvent of the substances we eat daily. And we intake daily ala tool. Okay, we eat and we drink daily ala tool. Of course, there's a solute and solvent there for the liquids. Okay, so this is gonna be the operating parameters inside our body with corresponding also temperature, pressure, concentration, and enzymes. Okay, things like that. Because the reaction inside our body is mainly really decomposition, synthesis, combination, metabolism, things like that. Okay, detoxification. Usually detoxification is under metabolism. Once it will broken down into different waste products to be released from our body, that's gonna be metabolism already, the detoxification process. Okay, so that's general. But toxins are being removed. Okay, so the detoxification, that's under more or less catabolism. Okay, right? And the anabolism. So we have a special topic of metabolism in our biochemistry. We will be also discussing that later on. So this is going to be step by step. We need to introduce you to that. Actually, because our expertise in BS Chemical Engineering is all about biochemical engineering, but it's easy also to relate to biochemistry because we are really bound to understand the basis and concepts of overall chemistry. Things like that, because we are loaded with also different chemistry, name it, except for clinical chemistry and medical chemistry. We are lack of that. That is also the specialization that I am studying a lot now in my research, personal research. Because we are lack of that. We are not attaching bio in our chemistry, because our study is more on the outside environment, talking about industries, okay, physical processes, but it's not really focusing inside our body. So we want really to study what's inside our body. Okay, because it's gonna be our purpose in life, is to have good health. to endure, to sustain our life until 70 years old and 80 years old, spending quality moments, happy and precious moments with our family. It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be the, oh my gosh, shall I say, the most significant objective why we are existing in this planet Earth. Agree or not? I think you may agree. Okay, it's gonna be like that. So we have the bloodstream here. Okay, talaga. Okay, bloodstream. Okay. So our bloodstream will be flowing to the different, capillary tube in our body. Like a road where to go. Okay, that needs the blood because it carries the oxygen. It carries the oxygen, the protein, the vitamins, the minerals that our vital organs need the most so that we will become healthy and we have energy in every day. In every day we move. Okay, every day we walk, in every day we write, we talk, okay, things like this. It's gonna be, it's gonna be catalyzed by different biochemical reactions, or else we will die if we don't eat and we don't drink. You get the point? Things like it's gonna be the process, the entire process, okay, of the existence of all living organisms, all forms of living organisms. Okay, things like that. Okay, so we have after this the medical technology, the med tech, shall we say. They take also have so many chemistry. Okay, the same with pharmacy. Okay, this is to tell you honestly, pharmacy, and then we have also the what do you call this one? The physical therapy, the OT, the occupational therapy also, and the medical science majors, and also the sciences, bachelors of sciences, for example, BS physics, BS chemistry, BS biology, things like this, and also BS biotechnology, BS biochemistry, BS chemical engineering, biotechnology. Sometimes it's gonna be forensic science, okay, and a lot. Forensic science is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be dealing most of the times with DNA. Okay, DNA, RNA, blood sample, urine sample, it's gonna be like that, used in criminal investigation. Okay, forensic science, and that's a very good job. That is highly paid professionals because it's very rare. That's too difficult. Their chemistry is very deep, and profound. Meaning very, very complex. The chemical formulation higher than the BS chemical engineering, and also the BS chemistry, of course. So these are sciences related professionals. Okay, so we belong to the same banner. When we talk about medical science and health science, we can easily penetrate. Okay, because that's our subjects loaded with sciences. Okay, you get the point. But as I told you, these chemical engineering are not more on the inside of the body, but the same. We study different substances. Okay, it depends on the quality of the science graduates who love to focus on this type of contents, right? It's dependent on the expertise and specialization. Okay, because it happens that I love science when I was in elementary up to now. Okay, I love it. Okay, the point. The point mga palaga akong hitad. Things gonna be like that. So it's gonna be the job of the medical technology. So what are those liver enzymes that we're going to detect in our liver function tests? It's gonna be LFT, liver function test. Wow. This is to measure if our liver is working properly or functioning properly through the results in the medical examination results, like that. When you go to the doctor, for your personal doctor, or it's gonna be for related to employment, okay, things like that. But the rich people have their own personal doctors, okay, but the ordinary or the normal people don't have regular medical checkup. Okay, but the logical and reliable and optimal checkup must be once a year, whether you are rich or poor. You get the point, but most of the average living people will not do that because we don't have money, right? If we have money, we'll spend that to another stuffs or another things. Could it be investment? Okay, so most of the times we don't invest too much in our health. Okay, we invest too much for business and entrepreneurship. And later on, if our business is very well, good, and everything, we have so many profit, and later on, you cannot work properly, things like that, then you will, oh my gosh, what's happening to me? As if you lost everything regarding your business, if your health will be in failure. You get the point? Because you cannot pass your health to anybody else. You cannot pass your health to your children. You cannot pass your health to your wife, to your girlfriend, to your boyfriend. It's your health. You should protect your own health. Nobody saved you except your own life. And there is only one life that God gave to us, and we should nurture and care while we are still alive in this planet Earth. Okay? Understand, children? Okay. No more explanation, right? Okay. It's gonna be like that. So we have, I think it's gonna be 5 parameters that we need to maintain. So, okay guys. So this liver enzymes, okay, it will be released into the bloodstream. Okay, it will be released into the bloodstream. Okay, and it will be transported into different vital organs. Some will be from the liver going to the vital organs. Some also from other vital organs that will stay to the liver for a while. It's just like an exploration of different activities that they are trying to enjoy with. If if the humanity is enjoying exploration in going to different places to travel, to relax, going to beaches, our vital organs also inside our body are doing also exploration. Every minute, every second, every hour, things like that. They are also enjoying different types of nature there inside our body. Okay? If we are enjoying also in the planet Earth, then they are also enjoying inside our body. So it's complementary, things like that. You get the point? For example, that's why if you have mental stress, your physical body also will be tired. Things like that. And you will not enjoy like this because you are stressed both mentally and physically like that. And then also your vital organs also are stressed inside your body. Okay? Sila Jude, they are the one who first stress before us. Okay? You get the point? Because we are activated by them. We are just only an instrument. Okay? But they are pushing us to do this, to do that. These are substances. Okay, without substances, we are nothing in this planet Earth. Okay? We are just an object. You get the point? And these substances will push us to do this, do that, do this, do that, do that, do this, do that, like that. And these are the chemical messengers hormones that will do these things in order for us to be alive, to be energetic, things like that. Because they are more on the output results. Okay? Things like that. The chemical messengers, hormone or the hormone itself. That's why most of the diseases are hormonal. Okay? Because that's gonna be the hormones will function. Okay? And it's all, right? Hormones will be released in the bloodstream, same, because most of them are enzymes also and proteins. It really jive, it really match the principles and concepts, right? Okay. Now, if this liver enzymes will be released into the bloodstream, then it will be elevated to a high level. Things like that. Okay? So it will be detected through the blood sample. Okay, and sometimes the urine sample. Okay, the urine sample, because not all will stay in the liver. Some will go to the kidney, things like that, immediately. So some enzymes will go to the and some enzymes also are bounded with so many salts, Things like that. For example, alkaline phosphates. That's salts, right? So alkaline phosphates is also a part of an enzyme. Things like that. Okay? So more or less in the urine, we're gonna testing here the uric acid. Things like that. Okay? Uric acid. What is the chemical formula of uric acid based in our, stock knowledge? It's gonna made of purines, right? So purines, what is purine really? So you have N, C, H, N. So 5 atoms of carbon, 4 atoms of hydrogen, 4 atoms of nitrogen. Okay, like that. Okay, you get the point. And how many oxygen for that? Okay. CHN4. That is purine. Okay, purine. Okay, mga palangga kong hitad. And then, gonna be oxygen 3. Okay? It's gonna be like that. This is gonna be uric acid. Okay. You get the point? Uric acid and urea. Urine is the urea. It's not the same with uric acid, okay? Urine is general. So this is urea. CH4N2O is the chemical formula of our urine or uric acid. So in our urine, if we try to break down that, we really have nitrogen also in our urine. Take note, nitrogen also. In our uric acid, we have also nitrogen. So basically, our urine or urea, some of it are uric acid. Okay, you get the point from purine. Why, Sir Sotero? Because we cannot eliminate also purine because purine is found in meat. Okay? We eat meat, shall we say, 3 times a day. By the time we eat meat, beef, chicken, we already loaded with purine inside our body. Okay, this purine will be converted into uric acid and it can cause also gout, G-O-U-T, in your joints of in the feet, in the bone, gout, G-O-U-T, and then it will lead also to arthritis, higher level of your uric acid through oily foods. That's the reason, because we cannot eliminate purine. Okay? So actually, it doesn't matter if you put oil like this. It's the built-in elements of the meat that cannot be eliminated 100%. Because when you cook, you put oil, right? So it's not a reason you will say, because of the too much oil. No, it's not. It's the purine really that causes the uric acid. Because you cannot remove kasi you get the point, but you have to put oil because you need to cook. Common sense, right? And then you will say, too much oil. Again, it's not a reason for too much oil. Okay, because there is purine already in the meat. Okay, if you remove the purine 0, then there will be no uric acid in your urine. Okay, so your uric acid will become very, very low. But since purine is in the meat, just like the amine, maubitaw ang purine is converted into nucleobases in our DNA. Okay? Because we need also meat to produce a prescribed arrangement of amino acid to produce protein to be used in our DNA synthesis. Okay, that is mainly purine, right? The cytosine, guanine, uracil, thymine. These are nucleobases or nucleotides coming also from purines. Okay, this is the other version also by the pyrimidines. It's gonna be like that. The nucleobases in my discussion of our DNA and RNA, I already discussed that, right? So there are 2 types of, amino acid group with the pyrimidines and purines, and meat have purine. At the same time have amino. Okay? Then plus nitrites or nitrates preservatives. Wala. Yabo. Okay, you get the point? Things like that. You get the point? So that's why people on earth will really prone to death. Because we are loaded with processed foods around us. Okay, based on my research, 1 out of 10, okay, only 2 will reach 80 years old above globally. Okay, only two, 1 out of 10. 8 of that will be 70 years old below. So our lifespan in the millennials are lesser compared to the prehistoric era in the times of Muhammad, in the times of Moses, in the times of Abraham, because at that time there's no industrial revolution due to release of air pollution, to water pollution, land contamination, things like that, and there's no such too much processed food at that time. That's where the age will reach 100, 80, 90. Now, you cannot expect that to happen in the computer age. Get the point? Because too much of processed foods, the more it will become processed, the more it will become delicious to our taste. Okay? So that's the philosophy, okay, that we need to break for our younger generations to come. That's why we need to add more young scientific researchers and young scientists in the computer age, because we are focusing now in the technology we left behind from science exploration, science discoveries, science research, things like that, because these things can improve the economy of the country. If we have too much invention, discoveries related to science, because discovery can improve the quality status of our life, things like that. It's not it's not the machine. Okay, the machine and the equipment will destroy what God builds for us. Okay, if we use that in a wrong way, okay, just to compete with one another, that we are the strongest country globally, and there's also another country, we are also the strongest country, and there's also another country, we are also the strongest country, and nobody will accept who among them are the strongest, so they will use this technology to destroy the humanity. And that's the time also they will also try to fabricate biohazards. Biohazards? And that's why this viruses comes in, that is fabricated. We get the point? Because of pride determining which is the strong country all over the world. Take a look. There's no a lot of issue now about biohazard. Okay, viruses are biohazards, Okay, that is biological hazards under occupational safety and health study. Okay, you get the point. So because occupational safety and health study is very broad, okay, you have to study a lot. You can penetrate in all disciplines. Okay, whether it's electrical, mechanical, instrument, commerce, whatever. So OSH will penetrate because this is multidisciplinary. Enter multidisciplinary, approach of professionals or career path. Very broad. You get the point? And science also will be covered in OSH, of course, when dealing the health hazards, right? When dealing the risks. Okay, science will always be there. Okay, just like electricity. Electricity is governed with pure science. Oh my gosh, that's through electrons. Electrons flow in a path from one point to another. That's basically pure science. The point? So we can create energy, electrical energy. That's pure science already. And we cannot eliminate science in the planet Earth. The point? So we will die on. We don't have light if there's no science. Science pertaining to electrical energy. Okay, things like this. My God, if I want to vlog everything, this one day will not be enough. Really, there's so many things in my brain cells that I have to discuss. Okay, I'm not saying I'm arrogant, but it's stuck in my, in my hippocampus part of my thalamus brain, in my cerebrum vortex, central nervous system. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's gonna be like that. Okay, the power of stuck and acquired knowledge plus daily anatomical research and readings. Okay? Huwag yun na siya, guys, Would you say technique in passing international examinations? Whether local and international examination. Being a wide reader, being, make your own initiative and constant research. So through that you can have the acquired knowledge, that knowledge, day by day you add like that, but don't pull out. Add, because your learning is a continuous process. It's a cycle. It will just only stop until your last breath. Kung magtinga na ka sa hospital. But as long as you're alive, you always add knowledge, information. Kaya nga, knowledge is power. Diba? Ganon! Okay, going back here. So, ang ato mga test, mga kanila, yung mga test. Mga kanila. Okay. Oh. So, atong isgutan sa our liver enzymes. Okay, guys? Nakakauna ba ang tanan? Oh my gosh. So here you will be loaded of different, medical science terms. The first we have the EST, like that. Number 2 we have the ALT. Number 3 we have the GGT. Tama ba? GGT. Okay. Okay, and then we have also the SPGT. SPGT and LT is similar in nature. SPGT. We have the SPOGT. Things like that. And then we have also the thrombon. Thrombon time. It is a time, thrombonic or thrombone time, it is a test done by the medical technologists to determine the time it takes for our blood to naturally produce a clot. Clot, C-L-O-T, because clotting, guys, is a natural process of our blood. Okay? The only problem, if that clot will not going back to normal. That's why they will try to measure the thrombonic time due to the hormone thrombone also. Okay? Thrombone, Thrombone. That's why thrombonic time. The time they will obtain through the test. Di ba sila magsaba, guys, kung nag-test na sila anak? Okay? You get the point? If we are the patient, because we are not having too much knowledge of medical science, right? Of course, they will never say if you are not also asking them, right? Normally, but actually they will do the test also during medical examination, the thrombone test. The same with this also, and we have also the creatinine test and the bilirubin test, things like that. Okay. Ganon. So, mga putin-putin or liver enzymes. Ha? Get the point. Things like that. So, if you will be facing an examination, take note also for the specificity, ha? Specificity. Then, if you feel the atmosphere of questioning is just like talking on the generalities, then go for the general, okay? But if, the atmosphere of questioning it looks like a little bit of specifics, chuba-chucho, and specificity, then go to the specificity. You can feel the atmosphere of the question in the first place when you comprehend and interpret the question after reading that twice, right? Because that's the procedure. Read twice and understand and comprehend well the question. Okay, that's the technique of facing an examination. Read the question twice, like that, and then body comprehend. Okay, and understand. Then you have to write down the given, like that, and write also what is being asked by your brain only. Unless it is a problem-solving question, then you have to write. So your brain also will ask, what is being asked here? By talking to your brain. Okay, not verbal. That's the technique of facing an examination. You get the point? Then the first thing to do is to go to the most basic and easy to answer. Then jump the most complex one. Then if you have time, go back to the most easy questions. Because it will eat up your time. It will focusing on the above average, difficult, and complex questions. It will eat up your time, and then the story is you have a low scores. Okay? Things like that. So much. Okay. So, things like that. So, it's gonna be, the first is AST. So, this is gonna be aspartic. or aspartate. Guys, some books saying aspartate, some books also are stating aspartate. Because in chemistry, it doesn't matter whether it's a salt or acid. It has the same formula sometimes, right? As I told you, like ascorbic acid and ascorbate. Okay, this is found as the formulation of your vitamin C supplements, right? You can read that in your packaging of your vitamin C supplements, aspartate or aspartic acid, right? And then plus the element could be sodium ascorbate, calcium ascorbate. There will be a partner because that is double displacement and replacement chemical reactions. That's why there's a partner element apart from the polyatomic and ion. Polyatomic and ion, it's gonna be like that. Yes, but organic polyatomic and ion. Okay, things like that. Okay, it's gonna be, we will try aspartate. Okay, because it's common. Aspartate, take note mga palagakong hitad, aminotransferase. Wow! Aminotransferase. So, it is an enzyme because it ends in ASE. Okay? And then, nakakaloka, still amino. Okay, now, if you eat meat, it will trigger your AST. Because there's an amino already in the enzyme. As I told you over a million times, amino is built in the meat we eat. Because amino is a constituent to become a protein. You get the point? So there will be no protein if it is not arranged in a prescribed manner of different amino. Okay? You get the point for amino acids. So hindi mo matangkang si nitrogen. So mulugwa rin si nitrogen because God gave us 79% by volume of nitrogen in our nature. Okay? Though nitrogen is inert gas, not reactive, but if we try to take that in our system, it will synthesize a lot of substances, just like this, aspartate aminotransferase. There's amino here, there's nitrogen there. Okay, because we know that oxygen is reactive than nitrogen. But take note, oxygen is just only 21% by volume in our nature, or lower, because due to the contaminant gases that eating up the molecules of oxygen. Okay, air pollution. Okay, if there are no air pollution, perfect. God gave us 21%, it's just the same up to now. But it's no longer 21% perfectly due to contaminant gases. And oxygen, okay, molecule will be eaten up by this contaminant gases. It's not the nitrogen because nitrogen is non-reactive. Okay, that's 79%, mayroon siya. Okay, things like that. That is at STP, at standard temperature and pressure. Okay, now we go to the ALT. So ALT is alanine aminotransferase. Okay, transferase. I will teach you something also, another technique on how to say it. Okay, when I was in college, guys, I started this in high school. When I see a science term, I will never be contented with one term. I will maximize this. What is the another term for this? What's the another term for this? And I'll go to the maximum so that I can know there's gonna be a lot of variation, things like that. Okay, because I noticed when I joined science competition in representing our school, I noticed really that they will not go direct to the most common scientific term. Okay? For example, blanc is also known as muriatic acid. Things like that. And that is only hydrochloric acid. Okay? Blanc is what we call as agua oxinada. And your answer will be hydrogen peroxide. Things like that. Blanc is a laughing gas. Your answer will be dinitrogen oxide, N2O. So, I love to memorize, different types of brand names into one equal so that I can really understand that this is going to be the coverage of one chemical over the other. You get the point? And I started that culture since high school and it helped a lot in college until 5th year college. Going to the board examination, then perfect. Why lusot ang theories? Okay, good the point. May lusot ang theories, but majority of the theories I answered all. Okay? It's gonna be like this. Alanine aminotransferase. Okay? And then we have also, okay, the SPGT. Yun siya parental guidance ha, kanong PG. Okay, this is serum. Okay. Nakakaloka mga palangga kong hitad. Serum, and this is gonna be a pyruvic. Okay, pyruvic glutamic transaminase. Okay. Like that. Take note the medical science term, huh? You will say to the doctor, sir, how much is my SPGT? Like that. Or my ALT. And the doctor will say, your SPGT and ALT. Ganon. Okay, then we have the GGT. Okay, the gamma. Okay, the gamma glutamic. Okay, the gamma glutamic. Okay, transferase. Okay. Transferase. Okay, ganon. And then we have the SPGOT, the serum, talaga. Okay, the serum, okay, pyruvic, okay, oxaloacetic glutamic transaminase, SPOGT. Okay? So, ang inuti man lang yung higayon na guys, mga panagaw na ang serum, S na ginasyadaan. Okay, and then the P will be pyruvic, things like that, okay? And then, it will matter only on the, on the O. In the SPOGT, that is oxaloacetic. Oxaloacetic, right? There's two carbon atoms there. Okay? And then you have to add oxygen, because oxalo group. Okay? And then plus acetic, the oxaloacetic or oxaloacetate, things like that. Okay? Get the point? Okay? You get the point? And the creatinine also is, C4H7, like this, blah, 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 so and so, and 3O. Okay, this is creatinine, this formula of creatinine. Okay, this is the protein absorbed by the muscles in order for us to become active. That's the purpose of creatinine. But if it is more than, it will be released to the bloodstream and it will be captured to our kidney. Okay, so either urine sample or blood sample also for creatinine. Okay, and then men have more creatinine protein than women. That's why it's generally known that men is more having energy than women because of creatinine protein. This is the reason technical, huh? Why we say that man is more active than women? Your answer, because men have more creatinine protein. No other answer. Because creatinine is a protein for muscles to give us energy. Okay, this is the most correct answer if we base on science. This is not opinionated. Okay? Because if you answer that in opinion, there's a lot. Because he will do the exercise more than women. Because he eat a lot of food. But direct answer, because men have more creatinine protein than women. And I thank you. Ganon! Get the point? Okay. And then question number 2. How many islands does the Philippines contain? High tide or low tide? Okay. Number 6, bilirubin test. Okay. This bilirubin is a bad protein. O, nakakaloka. Bad protein siya mga palangga. Ganun ba? Yes. Nakakaloka. Sure, your level must be 0.3 to 1.2 milligram per deciliters. Convert mo. So, muna pag-convert mo sa Sotero sa millimoles. Millimoles per liter per mahimo siyang concentration unit or solubility. So, you're gonna be trying to convert that in a molarity or concentration unit. Okay, take note on always the molecular weight. Because molecular weight is gram per gram mole or grams per mole. Then you can do the conversion factor and the gram will be eliminated. Bingo, it will become mole per liter, millimole per liter, things like that. Just convert that later. Okay? Memorize all the basic conversion factors so that you can easily convert, you know, uh, units. You get the point? Things like that. But in terms of milligram deciliters, things like that, huh? Okay, some also international unit per liter, things like that. Okay, you get the point? Okay, muna siya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Malitso lang ta. So we'll go directly to the most worst protein. Okay, the most worst protein, shall I say, the SPGT or the ALT, the alanine aminotransferase, and the serum pyruvic glutamic transaminase. Charot, okay? Really? Yes. Okay, nakakaloka. Okay, so muna siya yun siya guys. Because SPGT and LTS liver specific yun siya guys, ha? Liver specific tests. Okay. Liver specific test nga muna yung metabol is gonna be from 0 to kay LT lang siya, it's gonna be 0 to let us say 45. Okay, 45 international units per liter. Okay, if our brain cells will not work out for this, then you can go to research what is international units to milligram, and it's easy to have a reference for that also. Then if you memorize also the basic requirement for 1 IU is equals to how many grams, then bingo, you can do that immediately. Okay? You get the point? So things like that. So this is the limit of our, then if we have a very high SPGT and ALT, meaning to say that will have a liver injury. Liver injury or liver damage or liver disease. That's a direct measurement, guys. Okay. Taas din na siya, makita na siya sa doktor. That would mean your liver is under inflammation, under fibrosis. Fibrosis also is a disease that's gonna be a stage 1 cancer, things like that. Fibrosis, liver fibrosis. Okay, the liver damage is a really general term. Liver disease is also a general term, ha? But liver cirrhosis is a specific term for liver damage for cancerous liver, things like that. Okay? Or what we call as hepatic carcinoma. Wow. Really? Okay, ako na nabasahan guys. Hepatic carcinoma. Okay? You get the point? It's gonna be like that. Okay. Now, tempasa. Atong i-illustrate. So, if taas yung SPGT and ELT, then automatic liver disease and liver damage. Kailangan siya level, guys. But if that is not very high, the doctor will advise you something. Like they will give you multivitamins, blah blah blah, so and so. What are the food to be avoided? You will do exercise, things like that. You have so many, medical prescriptions and diagnostic control measures. Okay, control measures to be done if a little bit higher from. But if too much, problem talaga siya, guys, ha? Okay, the point. So the doctor will tell if it is too much high or not so. Okay? For this number 2, this is direct relay. Okay, this is liver damage. If the ALT is too much high and SPGT above, 40, IU per liter siya. Okay? Fix it, tama ba? Yes. Ganon. Nakakaloka. Yes. Now, guys, if your EST is higher than the ALT, what will be happening? Equivalent to GGT. So, Sotero, what is GGT? Okay, GGT is gamma glutamic transferase. Okay, but other book also say transaminase. It depends on your, specificity. that you'll be encountered in the future. Okay? You get the point? Because this aminotransferase, guys, also based on my research, kung gali ko mudig, charot. Sometimes they will say this transaminase. Okay? Transaminase. And other, sources will say aminotransferase. Okay, some doctors, I listened well in my sources, they will say aminotransferase. And other also, sources, for example, you will go to Wikipedia or websites in the WHO, things like that, or CDC, they will say transaminase. So this can be used interchangeably actually. Okay? Instead of transaminase, sometimes aminotransferase. It depends. That's still correct. Okay, you got the point? Can be used interchangeably. Just like a gamma glutamic transaminase or transferase also. Get the point? So if your AST aspartate, okay, transferase, aminotransferase, mag-isip mo ko sa aminotransferase ko lang. So we have aspartate transaminase is higher than your alanine, okay, aminotransferase, meaning to say, guys, okay, you have liver disease driven by excessive alcohol. Okay? Alcohol intake. Alcoholism. Okay? But if your ALT is higher than AST, meaning you have a hepatic, these are all hepatic diseases because liver is hepatic. Okay? Your liver disease will be driven by excess glucose and high refined carb. Glucose and high refined and sugar. What about the solid substance? So it depends on the situation. So we will say that EST is directly proportional to AFLD, meaning fatty liver driven by alcoholic fatty liver disease. This is driven. If you have EFLD, meaning to say your aspartate aminotransferase is very high to other liver enzymes here. Okay, driven by alcohol. Now, if your ALT and GGT, gamma glutamic transferase, is very high also, it's driven not by alcohol, but it's driven by glucose intake, high refined carbohydrates, and sugar, sweetened foods, very, very excess in your body. That the liver cannot detoxify already, and your liver cannot metabolize already. That's the reason it will stop there. Instead, it will be rejected away from your system as wastes. The waste will just stick to your liver. Imagine if the waste will stick to your liver, what will happen? It will create germicidal action with microbes and bacteria, right? So that's gonna be the reason because it cannot go out. You get the point. So during the test, it will trigger the higher level of your AST, ALT, things like that. Okay? So if we are just very, very powerful, then all will be out. But sad to say, our system is not perfect. It will just, because our liver sometimes will not function very well because we overburden them. What is the example? Overeating is overburden them, meaning we give them too much load to perform. Okay, beyond their capacity normally. So that's why, aside from overeating is a sin or gluttony, so there's also symptomatic effect for overeating. That is, our vital organs will suffer a lot by their normal functions. Don't give too much load of our vital organs because there's no overtime. Okay? Like that. And the overtime of our vital organs, maluhod mo are not paid. Okay? Buti pa tayo paid, but the vital organs are not paid. You pay them by eating, right? And again, it will destroy other vital organs as well by eating, because you think that is your reward. That is not. Okay? You get the point? Do not overeat or overfeed your system because your liver cannot metabolize and cannot detoxify already the substances, and it will penetrate there as a waste products. Then it will create free radicals as an outlet for the microbes to stay with. Then it can cause different diseases, as I mentioned, specifically liver disease. Get the point? Things like that. Now, your ALT also sometimes will also calibrate the other diseases also because that is not specific to liver also. Be careful also with your ALT, with your AST, guys. ALT no problem because it is specific for the liver. AST, aside from knowing that it also triggers a liver disease, but it's also high. This also causes kidney malfunction, kidney damage, bone and muscles diseases, things like other diseases also, because this kind of liver enzyme will go to your muscles, tissues, kidney, and heart. And of course, if it is over over in amounts, it will lead to kidney disease, muscles and tissues and bones diseases, and also heart diseases, specifically heart attack or myocardial infarction, the serious killer. Okay, because it will trigger the blood pressure to be high. Okay, because it will be pressurized. Why? It will be pressurized because the more you have this type of or any substances, the more the bloodstream will go too much to different vital organs. So the blood will be pressure. That's why it will be coming high. Okay? Then if you stock only lesser amount of food to be transported, then the bloodstream will be relaxed, proper, or blood flow normally. But if you eat too much, you add a lot of pressure for the blood, okay, to transport these substances into different vital organs where it needs the most. Diba? Common sense. Okay? So our bloodstream is a gasoline in our body. Okay? And our lipoproteins, fats, cholesterols, and triglycerides are the car, our transportation vehicle. Okay? So that these vitamins and minerals will go to the specific cell receptors of the vital organs so that will become healthy. So that's why it's also good to have cholesterol. But take note, the better will be the high density lipoproteins, cholesterol. Okay, but the problem is due to this low density lipoprotein is having lower density, he will be the one to move first by science. Right? Density is equals to mass over volume. The more it is less dense, the more it will be moved directly to circulate, not the high dense, not the denser one. Since sad to say, God created the high density lipoprotein, which is good, in which he cannot move also freely as the low density lipoprotein did. You get the point? So we cannot explain, right, why our God also made this. Okay? Again, he made the low density lipoprotein to transport these substances more than the high density lipoprotein because it is more having weight. It is lesser weight that can move anywhere. But the high density lipoprotein is very weightful. That's why he will stay. Maguna-una dyan si good cholesterol. Suroy-suroy. Si bad cholesterol, mo blood clot na yun siya dali. Mubagtok din siya, baka siya may lagan kayo. Di ba, para sa ito ko, kisang ito yung lagan, mo ito'y mabuntis, mo ito'y mag-adik-adik, mo ito'y mabanggaan sa sakyanan, katong mga gaan kayo padulngan, kasi asa lang lang, say, go there, go where, go anywhere, gano'n. Katong mga bugat kay mga lawas, nasa balay, di magsuroy-suroy, di dito sila mga aksidente, dito sila mabanggaan, di mo sila exposed, they are not exposed to outside environmental hazards, then they will not be engaged in any potential accidents in outside environmental factors. For example, in the road, in the open field, there's a sudden ballot that will come immediately. It will hit to the head. Okay, and it is not related to you. You are only an accessory death to that. So if you are staying in your home, you will not be hit. Things like that also the same with the good cholesterol and the high density cholesterol, because the high density cholesterol will stay and move slowly, and the bad cholesterol will be active in going different places to transport these vitamins and minerals and everything inside our body. Okay, so that's why it will create a blood clot. It can cause a vasoconstriction in the epithelial cells and lining of our blood vessels. Then it will be deposited there. Then the flow of the blood cannot circulate properly. Then of course the pumping of our heart, which is the chop or the left artery, it will be hardened now. Then it will triggers the pressure of the blood to be high. Then problem, it can cause myocardial infarction or heart attack. That is in the case if the flow will be going to the heart, or outside from the heart going to the defibrillator. If the flow will be going to the brain and there's certain capillary tube in going to the central nervous system, and it's gonna be a stroke. The result will be a stroke, not heart attack already. So the stroke is really cerebral infarction. So if that's happened, you will receive a stroke. Better a little bit than the heart attack, because heart attack is a serious killer. Okay, it can be treated back, but same story. Later on, we will die. Things like that. You get the point? If nobody captures us to heal us, to bring us to the doctor, okay, things like that. Especially if you are alone in your home, things like nobody will help you. Things like that. You get the point? Okay, so it's very pretty obvious. It's very good that somebody will accompany you during your sleeping, especially if you are turning 50 years old and above. There must be children beside you or in the home, because they will be the one to rescue you, on the spot rescue. If you are alone, nobody will help you. Get the point? Nakakaloka, di ba? Okay, ganon. O, di ba? So it's gonna be like that. Okay. So, muna siya nahitabo. So our GGT also will be higher. That is liver specific also, ha? Okay, ganon. Napatay ko sa nakalimutan ako, guys. Ang kuan siya. Ang ALP, alkaline. Okay, alkaline phosphates. If you have higher in alkaline phosphates, meaning to say you will receive a bone disease. Okay, that is abnormal osteoblastic activity. Wow. Osteo meaning bone. That's why we have osteology. Ganon. It's the study of bones, development and remodeling of the bones. Sorry, remodeling is the study of the health of the bone, remodeling and growing of the bone and its diagnostics. It's osteology. Okay, when you see the word osteo, let's say we have osteoporosis, osteomalacia, and here, if we have high alkaline phosphates, meaning to say osteoblastic. Okay, meaning the bone will suddenly blast. Okay, just like blasting in the cement industry. Also blasting, it's very clear in our noun here, noun. Blast. Blast is the noun. Okay, blastic meaning process. Okay, with osteoblastic activity of the bone. So it will become disease. Or normally, if it will blast without any reasons, that's abnormal. Right? So if you have higher alkaline phosphate enzyme also. Because alkaline phosphate enzyme will go also to the bone, to the muscles, thing, not specifically to the liver, but also have the liver also, but not very high. Okay? This all will determine if you have a liver disease, ha? But the more factor is the SPGT, AST, creatinine, bilirubin. But the others are only small factors, but still, it can also create, an interest to deal with, to interpret the results. Normally, the doctors will interpret the results. If they cannot make it, they will consult to their friend who is more expert. For example, something with your bone, and his expertise and specialization is not on the bone. They will call their friend that is also specialized in the bone, just like my father. Okay, the doctor of my father is not really, master in the liver, things like that. Okay, and then he consult to another doctor to interpret the results also. Okay, So, anak na siya. It depends on the specialization, especially if it requires surgical operations. Surgical operations and the diagnostic activity is very complex and sensitive, especially if you are really to be sent to the ICU, intensive care unit, things like that. You get the point? Mga sensitive, critical diseases, more or less highly mutagenic and cancerous. Sorry, cancerous. Okay, get the point? Anak siya. Okay, so nanatay AST, ALT, GGT, SPOGT, creatinine, bilirubin, and ALP. Okay? Na-discuss na akong EGT. Guys, arata sa bilirubin, kay maligo ko ng bilirubin, uy. Chart! Okay? Ang AST, guys, ang yung level, guys, may kuan jud siya 0 to 30 IU per liter. Ganon. Okay? Then, ang atong kuan, ang atong ALP taas. I will explain why our ALP is higher. It's gonna be 30 to 120 IU per liter. Why? We can explain. Why it's very high compared to other liver enzymes? Why? Why? Tuki ada yung taas ang kinanglanon sa level sa ALP. Okay, not good 0 to something. 30 man to 120. Take note. Okay, alkaline. Okay, take note phosphate. Okay, phosphate can be broken down into phosphorus, right? And phosphorus is an element needed for bone repair, bone health, and bone remodeling, just like calcium and vitamin D. That's why the requirement is higher compared to other liver enzymes. So you don't see 30 to 120. Still, you pasok sa banga, okay pa yung ALP. Okay, got the point. So if your ALP, alkaline is very high, already above 120, so you have a bone disease, osteoplastic activity, osteoporosis, hemolysis, things like that. So driven also by lack of vitamin D, like this, calcium, like that, related to bones. Okay, so that's the reason why, because alkaline phosphates have phosphate. Phosphorus will be converted later on due to decomposition, chemical reactions in everybody. And another one reason, alkaline. What do you mean by alkaline or alkalinity? Okay. So we review the theory of acidity and basicity of Arrhenius theory in chemistry. If you love chemistry, yung ipasok sa inyong brain cells, you can still understand the Arrhenius theory of acidity and basicity, the Bronsted-Lowry theory of acidity and basicity, and the Lewis theory of acidity and basicity, which is called the reduction and oxidation chemical reaction. Okay? You get the point? Ganon. Charot. Nagyoyo juga Jud. Uy, anak Jud. Okay? So, anak siya. Why? Alkaline. Let's review. Okay, let's review. Okay? Our body needs lower bicarbonates. Why? Lower bicarbonates. Why? And also, lower lactate. Okay? Lower lactate or lactic acid. Okay? But needs enough oxygen. But this all will pass to the bloodstream. Okay? Bloodstream. So we need to maintain the pH of our blood so that these substances will survive. If our blood is an acidic environment, most of the substances will not go synthesis under a very acidic environment. Okay, things like that. Okay, since this is alkaline phosphates, pasok na siya daan sa banga. So it will go directly to your bloodstream freely because alkaline. It's not acidic phosphate, it's alkaline. Alkaline, then our bloodstream in the first place is alkaline also. Right? You get the question. What do you mean by alkaline? So we have in our periodic element, we have 188 elements. If you can still remember the theory of Dmitry Mendeleev in our chemistry, and then there are at least 17 nonmetals as far as I can remember. And there are at least 37 to 42 radioactive materials or radioactive elements, and plus the naturally occurring radioactive materials, the norm. Okay, things like that. And the artificially prepared radioactive materials also, such as the lanthanide series and the actinide series in the last rows of our periodic table, right? So things like that. So what do we have also alkaline earth metals and alkali earth. What's the difference between alkali and alkaline? So you have to take the chemistry grammar out of that. There's a purpose why there's a slide of the terminology. Okay, it's not the same but a slide of the terminology from alkali to alkaline. So what's the difference? It creates interest, a question to your brain cells, right? Okay, so alkaline. Get the point? Okay, what do you mean by this? Nakakaloka. Okay, so if we have a pH from 1 to 14, review mga palangga pangitad. So let's say, if my brain is still working, okay, like that. So we have, sorry guys ha, pH is equal to the negative logarithm of H ion. POH is the negative logarithm of OH. Stock knowledge. Okay, sorry. H is equal to the negative 10 raised to the power logarithm of, sorry, pH. And then OH also is equal to 10 raised to the power logarithm of, this is going to be the base, right? POH. So these are the computations, and we have also things like weight. We have the pKa plus pKb is equals to 14. 14 is the auto-ionization pH of water. Okay. O2 ionization constant of water or solubility constant of water is 14 K. This is called Kb or Kw, sorry, for water. Then after that, you can get the concentrations of individually by taking the product, the reactant, and then the products over the reactants. Equilibrium constant, equilibrium concentrations of the product over equilibrium concentration of the reactant, things like that, and raise each to the power of each coefficient, right? Muna ako yun naman sa chemistry. Okay, now, so pH is gonna be 14, then the other 7 will be neutral, 6 below is acidic, and 7 up is basic. Take note, when you will say it is an alkaline? Since 7 to 14 is basic, and alkaline is part of basicity. Okay, so when you say alkaline, it could be either 7 to 10. Okay, 7 to 11, things like that, but not 10 to 14. But this range is already basic all. Okay, you need to say alkalinity is an example of basicity. Basic is only general, from 7 pH to 14 pH. Alkalinity is more on 7 to 9 because based on my memory, the pH of our blood is 7.34 to 7.45. This is the pH of our blood. This is the ideal pH for all the biochemical reactions inside our body because the bloodstream will stay there, all the enzymes, all the substances in our bloodstream. That's why our medical doctors, medical technologists will really get the blood sample. That's the main reason. Okay? So that's why we have alkaline phosphates is very high because we need our bloodstream to be highly alkaline and we need phosphates to be decomposed phosphorus to help develop the growth of our bones health and also remodeling in collaboration with calcium and vitamin T functions for our bone. Things like that. So the taas din siya ang ELT compared to the AST, ALT. Siya, may buong mga siya taas na kaayo. There must be a reason out of that. Right? You get the point? Things like that. Now we go to the RBC. Okay, RBC and the WBC. This is related to enzyme. I will never go detail. I will never go in detail with, this is called histology. You know histology? Histology, that talks about more on the blood cells. correct me if I'm wrong, histology, Histolgy. Liver is more on hepatology. This is more on pathology. And then bones more on osteology. Okay, the point is allogology, all of that, huh? Okay. In the eyes, that is ophthalmology, things like that. And then for for the medicines, first prescriptions, child, a doctor studying the disease of the child, that is pediatrics or pediatrician or pediology. Because there's doctor for, children, that is pediatrician or doctor in medicine, major in pediatrics. You get the point? They cannot be very well to treat adulthood diseases, adult. They can, but general, not specifics. Because they are not specialized for adult. They are specialized for children and going 1 year old, 2 year old, infant, like that. That's their expertise. And now may coverage sa major specialization. But they are all doctors, things like that. Okay, got the point? Ganon. Ako kay Puan ako. Charot! Doctor in nothing. Okay, going back. Nakakaloka. Nothing down. Okay. Now going back. Charot. Okay. So, ari ko na ganadyo ko bilirubin, guys, do. Ang tawag nga, chart. Okay. Bilirubin. Okay. What is the formula of bilirubin? Okay. The formula of bilirubin, this is also a bad protein. And this is specifically a bile protein. Okay. Bile is an acid, right? To manufacture fats and cholesterol and to aid proper digestion of food in our small intestine, and also helps in the secretion of pancreatic juices, and also the stomach acids, hydrochloric acid. That's why digestion of food, right? Okay, you get the point. So this is the function of bilirubin. Imagine if there's no bilirubin, how can our food will be digested also very well? At the same time, right? So things like this. So, I cannot explain why. If this is good, there's also bad like this. There's no such substance that is good all. I cannot name one substance that is entirely good, there's no bad, even though it's in excess. Give me an example. So, organic food, right? But still, if you have too much organic food also, problem also with your digestive health, right? So it will not sustain for how many hours? Okay, things like that. The digestion process will take to 6 hours, like that. Oh yeah, 6 hours to 8 hours. Oh, really? But mo na siya ang range, 6 hours to 8 hours. Okay, so kung mukhaon ka, if you eat 6 a.m., so at least 12, sakto siya, 6 hours. So 12 p.m. will be your lunch. Because 6 hours to 8 hours, things like this, okay? So if we eat 3 o'clock, that's very more already. So, abnormal meal will be there. Ay, nakakaloka. How can we compensate this? So, all we have to do is to drink water a lot. Drink water. And then drink, let's say, milk or tea. Okay, while you are waiting for your lunch. Because imagine you are more than 2 to 6 hours. You will eat your lunch at 3 p.m. How many hours is that? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Too much, right? Okay, so it's gonna be like that. So it's not ideal anymore. So all you have to do in between, you need to take snacks, light snacks, with water, with milk, with tea, like that, tartaraan. Right? Then if you really want to have intermittent fasting, that will be good. That will be okay because intermittent fasting is 16 hours. Okay? If you want your ketosis sugars to be born, okay? Okay, to avoid the bile fats in your stomach, to avoid bloating. or making your stomach as a balloon, then you can have 16 hours fasting, or you can do exercise. Okay? Or you can limit intake of high carbs and sugar substances. Okay? There's a lot of ways. Right? You get the point? Since this is highly scientific, this cannot be obtained through prayers. You get the point? You will just pray and you will say, Lord, please decompose my sugar so that I will become thin. So that will not help because that is science. But if you say, Lord, please keep me away from danger, 1 second, the Lord God will keep you away from danger. But this kind is highly scientific kasi okay? Science. So you need to say, prayer cannot help. Get the point? It's really you to act on this. Man-made. This is not but the wisdom of God. It will be you will act this by yourself. Action. Okay? So you will never say, God, I want to be thin. And then you eat a lot. The Lord God will not do that for you. So that's my point. Okay? So you should act on it while you pray that. You get the point? Things like that. So that it can be granted. Charot. O diba? Ganon. Nakakaloka. O diba? Okay. Ay, kailan mo ni Janine Berdin? Charot. Si Janine Berdin, ito, pislak kay ilong, yung nagparitoki. Okay, Janine Berdin. Okay, pislak pa kayo na siyang ilong. Pislak kaayo, tagalapu-lapu. Yung nagparitoki siya, nahimo siyang diya sa Saragosa. Chismis, Marites, nakakaloka. Pataka na siyang puan post sa Facebook. Okay? Basta makatawa lang ka. Okay? Anak na no. Muna siya. Last na ni siya guys sa akin. Mukuan akong minum kong kuan. Charot! Okay. So this is gonna be your, di ba na mga kuan na kay bile duct system? Okay, bile duct system. So the responsible in producing a bile is the bilirubin. That's why there's a bill here. The bill letters here signifies the word bile. That's your first identification. Okay? You get the point? Things like that. Okay? That's why bilirubin. It has to do something with your biliary duct in your liver or the bile duct system. Things like that. Because there's a specific route for the bile to be secreted and produced, to be processed, things like this, okay? So for example, this is your bloodstream, like okay. Okay. So we have a lot of red blood cells, RBC. Red blood cells, so in our elementary, let's say grade 5. So thanks God, because we discussed a little bit for this. We will say hemoglobin, right? Okay. In high school, there's a little bit of explanation to this, blah, 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 so and so. Okay, let's say we have vitamin B, vitamin B12, cobalamin, vitamin, things like this, right? A lot from B1 to B8 complex, vitamin B, for making protein and energy, things like that. And the source are mainly plants and animals. Okay, that's for vitamin B. Okay, and the main function really is to for production of protein, specifically for the red blood cells. Hemoglobin, things like this is what I could remember. Right? So we have the bloodstream here, ganon. Okay. So the red blood cells will be scattering all over our body. We have also the RBC coming from our bone, things like that. You get the point? From our placenta, things like that. Oh my gosh, placenta, huh? Yes. Okay. From the muscles, tissues, things like this. All vital organs can circulate na si blood. Charot. Okay, get the point? Muna siya. RBC will be composed. Okay. So RBC is composed of heme and globin. Globin is a protein in terms of globules in particles. That's why it's called globin because of the shape of the size particle in globules, the globin. So we have also immunoglobulin because the size particles are like a chunks, globules like that, basically a protein. Okay, and hemi also is a protein. Okay, now hemi plus globin will be hemoglobin. So meaning to say there's may pinaguhugutan why it is called hemoglobin. That is coming from the hemi protein and the globin protein. Okay, so other two, hemoglobin. Okay, now let's break this hemi and globin also. Okay, globin. So, what is globin purpose? Okay, so globin purpose is a protein that carries oxygen in the red blood cells. Whereas hemi is a protein that carries iron, okay, to produce our red blood cells. Okay? So hemi, direct iron, globin, oxygen. The other two, since we need to say, our red blood cells contains protein, okay, hemi and globin that carries iron and oxygen, okay, to be transported in different blood vessels going to different vital organs that needs it the most. Things like that. And they will carry along with it the nutrients, the vitamins, minerals, electrolytes, and other substances. Other substances in general. Nucleic acid, carbohydrates, protein, everything, right? You get the point? DNA, nucleic acid, amino acid, all. Okay, cholesterol, ganon. So, muna na siya atong hemoglobin. Okay. Now, so, actually, if you say, bilirubin is a waste product during the decomposition of the red blood cells. But that is too general to consider. Okay, so we will say bilirubin is a waste product to produce a bile. Okay, to produce a bile in which coming from the hemi. Meaning, the hemi will be broken down, not the globin. You get the point? You get the point? So, let's say, bilirubin is the waste products during the breakdown of the hemi protein. This will produce bile later on. Okay, you get the point for the synthesis of cholesterol, fats, phospholipids, things, and everything, and for the digestion of our food. Okay, bile relief is for the fast digestion of our food in our small intestine. Okay, that's a function of the bilirubin. Okay, that's the point. So, what will happen now? So, if this is our bloodstream going to the liver, things like that. This is our liver here. Okay, this bilirubin, okay, is in the form of biliverdin. Just I told you, Janine, Verdin. Because it has to do something. It's easy for me to memorize faster if I will name a person that is related to the protein. So Janine Verdin, biliverdin. Oh, diba? So biliverdin. Biliverdin protein is an unconjugated bilirubin. Unconjugated bilirubin. Okay, which is water insoluble. Take note, it will never dissolve to water, problem already. So water insoluble. Okay. Now, in this state, right? S-T-A-T-E, or in this phase, P-H-A-S-E, or in this form, F-O-R-M, or in this appearance, okay, it will need another protein to be converted into the final waste products that could be released in our urine. So that it will be go out. If it will not go out, problem also of our liver. You get the point? So it needs albumin. Di ara si albumin. Okay? Like this. Mao sakit sa akong papa, guys. Okay? Because if you don't add albumin, okay, it will not really go as a waste products to be going out. Then this all will stuck to your liver. So ang kani siya guys, without albumin, gamay na kayo, nipadong din sa liver sa kong papa, in which ni-cause din siya of liver damage. Okay, so my father has lack of albumin protein, and we need this albumin protein to be added with the biliverdin unconjugated bilirubin water insoluble, so that later on it will be converted as a waste product. Okay, as a waste product to be released in our system, and some will be as a bile, BIL, for the digestion of food, two-way process. Other will go as a waste products, and other will be converted into the bile for the digestion of food. What will happen? There's no proper digestion of food already because my father lacks of albumin, and there's also waste products to be converted, so it will stuck all in the liver of my father. You got the point? So the doctor said to my father that the albumin vial costs 5,000 pesos per intake. So we cannot afford this. 5,000 pesos per day, 3 times a day intake, so that the liver of my father will be detoxified. This bilirubin conjugated na siya. Okay? So after that, you add albumin, it will become bilirubin conjugated, which is water-soluble na siya. So it's easy for this to go out, and it's easy for this also to be used as a digestion acid, because it's also already water soluble, since acids are soluble to water. Okay, by theory. Okay, oil or alcohol cannot be insoluble to water, but water is soluble to acids. If not, we don't have juices, we drink. Okay, you get the point? So it's gonna be like that. So that's why he said, if your father will just eat the white protein of the egg, white color of the egg, since child up to now, dili alam tool, then you will not buy now 5,000 pesos of albumin, because your father has less now of albumin. It's consumed all in the system of your father. Okay, things like that. And but then he died. Okay, because he lacks of albumin protein. That's the reason why his liver is also becoming fat and affected, aside from the alcoholic content, as I mentioned a while ago, which is the GGT, glutamic, ganun di ba? Gamma glutamic transferase, and also the ALT, the alanine aminotransferase liver enzymes that releases into the bloodstream, that's stuck to my father's liver. Okay, it will not go out because there's no proper detoxification already by the liver of my father. Not healthy already, so it will not release the waste products. All are stuck there. So what will happen? It can cause liver damage, stage 1, stage 2, liver cirrhosis, and then cancer. And he died. And after that also, okay, the doctor pumped out the blood in the lungs, and then the water also will go there in the lungs, because the albumin function also secondary is to prevent the leakages of water from going to different vital organs. All vital organs have a specific amount of liquid to control. That's why we have vasopressin protein, okay, to control the extracellular fluids of our vital organs. The vasopressin protein will collaborate also to the albumin protein. Okay, so albumin protein will prevent the leakages of water from going to different places in which there is a control what is being adequate in amount, which is controlled by the vasopressin protein. Okay, like that. And take note, vasopressin protein will be triggered if you drink too much coffee. Okay, because coffee contains caffeine, which is a stimulant substance. When you take any stimulant into your system, that will trigger high blood pressure. And when the blood pressure will be higher, it will generate a lot of stress hormones. Okay? And vasopressin is one of the stress hormones. Okay, just like the adrenaline hormone, the cortisol hormone, the neonephrine hormone, like that, the growth hormone. The growth hormone, for example, the hormone needed to grow our nails, the hormone needed to grow our bulbul, the hormone needed to grow our bird, bangas, the hormone needed to grow our hair. So that is growth hormone. So the more you take coffee, also the growth hormone also will be released. Okay, lang, kuya, what was yes, it's gonna be like that because caffeine is a stimulant to energize not only us but also the hormonal substances inside our body, specifically the stress hormones. You get the point? Ganon. Okay, so that's why you will become hydrated. You keep on drinking water if you drink coffee a lot because aside from that, coffee is diuretic substances. You will lose water. Okay, the more you drink coffee, the more you will become dehydrated, the more you will crave for water, just like soft drinks. The more you drink soft drinks, the more you will crave to water also, because soft drinks also have caffeine, the same as coffee, as a stimulant, and then it can dehydrate you as well, because soft drinks also are diuretic substances. All diuretic substances, by coverage, is gonna be causing dehydration. Okay? Because your vasopressin hormone cannot control already the extracellular fluids inside your body. Okay, things like that. Ganon! Okay? You get the point. So, connected yun na sila guys, ha? Kanang mga enzymes, hormones, proteins, blah, 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 so and so. Any questions so far? O, diba? Makonect yun siya, no? Ganon. Okay. Good the point, mga palangga akong hitad. So, by the way, guys, antibodies is a microbial protein, ha? Antimicrobial protein. That's why they put that in the formulation of vaccines. Okay, because it will really recognize the virus to stay with and trap, and then then it will slowly die. Okay, you get the point? Anak siya. So, any questions so far, mga kapatid? Nakakauna ba ang tanan? Okay, so muna siya ang mga liver function tests. And by the way, before we end this vlog, special to note that liver is the most weightful part, weightful meaning the most heavy part of our anatomy. It weighs 1.2 kilogram to 1.5 kilogram, our liver. Now, if your liver is very fat, more than 1.5, that is already having a disease. Okay, it could be a fatty liver disease or a non-fatty liver disease. Ako, wala na ako yung fatty liver disease. Mahadlok yung kayo kasi hindi ko mainom OB. That's why I don't drink beer, wine, and whiskey. Okay? My brother will drink, but me never. Okay? Things like that. Because I have already symptoms of fatty liver disease in the past. Aside from knowing the fact that my father died also in liver damage, I'm also afraid with the genetic factor. Genetic factor and the hereditary traits offspring of my family. Because the father, I listened carefully. The doctor said also maybe one of your siblings will also develop this kind of disease, but it's driven to genetic factor, not on food. Meaning, your liver disease will be automatically come to you through genetic factor, not through food intake and alcohol intake. Imagine, you will not be afraid at a young age, and the doctor is telling in front of you, because I stay in the hospital at the time to take care of my father. Okay? So, that's why there's so much reasons for me why I don't drink alcoholic beverage. You get the point? Ang kuya ang genetic, because the genetic, even though you will never take alcoholic, it will be just coming to you, like a magic. Because it is through genes, through DNA, right? So, for example, just like diabetic, type 2 diabetes or the diabetes mellitus, especially if you're, what do you call this one? Glyceemic index is very high. Okay. Okay. So, diba, the glycemic index. So, this is through measuring the glucose level, things like that. You get the point? So, that's why we have like this, hyperglycemia. 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 Hypoglycemia. So this is measured through glycemic index, through glucose, right? Things like that, measurement. So hyperglycemic, prone to obesity, overweight, fat, then badan, going to type 2 diabetes, diabetes mellitus. Okay? Because mga palanggapong hitag, it will lowers the production of insulin hormone in your pancreas. Okay? Like that. With the point. So, see, the glucagon hormone is dominating over your insulin hormone. So, it should be balanced supposedly. The glucagon hormone will give, enough glucose to the pancreas, and in return also, he will also give enough insulin to the glucagon hormone. Things like partnership is a collaboration. Okay? Just like singers, collaboration, collab, things like that. In singing also, right? Collaboration or collab. Things, mag-collab po si insulin hormone o si glucagon hormone. You get the point? Okay? Glucagon hormone are hormones secreted by the glucoses from the glycogen stored house in your system. Okay? Things like that. O, sa hyperglycemia na yun. Ano siya? Glycemic index, ha? Taas yung glycemic index, ganun. Sometimes it cannot be driven through genes only. Charot! If you have diabetic, your son also will be diabetic, even though they will not eat sweetened foods or not like sugary foods or not too much eating, because that is through genes driven, okay, or DNA. Because I told you also, the sperm cell or the testosterone, the hormone of the reproductive organ of the male, contains at least 760 proteins. Minimum. Imagine, 760. Imagine 760 that there's still an ability that one of that, gene will be transformed to your son. And what if the protein there is related to the liver function tests? Again, there's a connection, right? For example, out of that 760 proteins in the sperm cell of the father, converted to the children. So, for example, one of the proteins there are bilirubin also, AST, ALT. Since that is DNA, it will be transferred to the son or the children or any members of the children. Since they are not also drinking alcoholic beverage and not eating too much, even though, because there's a chance that one of the proteins there will be transferred because that's through DNA. So that's the reason also. Okay? So there's reason why there's a lot of protein. 760 proteins minimum in your testosterone hormone. Okay, gonad, the reproductive system of the male. At the point. Ganon. Ganon ba siya? Yes. Kaloka. O diba? So nasi-chance guys, no? Nga kung usa ka protein dito, bilirubin baron, AST baron, si kuan ba GGT baron, siya ro gusto mo lang 5 ka buok, aning 760. Yang katong sperm na himo bi atong tao, ini contact sa egg cell sa babae. You get the point niya. Ang katong protein, depende na siya mo kuan dayon, mo propagate biya na siya a trillion of times. Mo to kuan niya, ma-adapt din sa mga anak, sa mga kuan niya. Mo na imbis dili siya diabetes, ma-diabetes sa check apil. Okay, bisag dili siya nga unog tapos kay kuan man through genes. And genes is composed man of DNA. Okay, deoxyribonucleic acid. And deoxyribonucleic acid is composed of a lot of protein folded after the synthesis transcription of RNA molecule. Okay, and coded the genetic information in a prescribed manner of amino acids to fold as a protein. Okay, and this protein, apil ato ang 760 ka buok. Niya musud sa DNA. Niya mo produce og bata. So na siya chance nga ma-genes gyud ang immune disease through genes ra gyud siya, not through intaking of the food. Mo na siya ka ng mga diabetes, mga liver disease nga motong gingon sa doktor. Okay, through genes and through DNA only, not through intake of the food is possible also. Una nakakaloka. That's why I'm very, very afraid for that. Ganon! Okay, because my father also, the brother of my father also died also with liver disease. Same with my father. Imagine that the sibling of my father, my father, brother died also with the same disease with my father. So maybe we don't know also the son of the brother of my father, the son of my father, the son of the other brother will also suffer the same liver disease also through genes and DNA, even though not drinking alcoholic beverage. What if we also drink alcoholic beverage? Somewhat, diba? So it is nice to prevent. So prevention is better than cure. You get the point? Gana. Prevention is better than cure. So just like fire prevention is better than fire protection system. Wow, may ganun sa Sotero. Di ba parehara siya? No, there's a difference between how to prevent and how to protect. So protect meaning it's already there and you have to stop. Okay, you have to reduce, you have to eliminate, but prevention is not yet happening. Okay? You get the point? Meaning say not existing and you try to prevent from happening and existing. That's the difference between prevention and protection. You get the point? That's English. Differentiate between prevention and protection. Nakakaloka. So, PPE is a protection. It's not prevention. Because even if you wear that one, you cannot stop the hazards from occurring. Okay? So, PPE is protective or protection, not prevention. Get the point? Anak siya mga kapatid kong hitan. Nakakaloka. Okay, but housekeeping is prevention. Okay? Because if you totally clean the area, there will be no flammable substances already, zero. And there's no fire, explosion, for us. So that's fire prevention. Diba? Nakakaloka. There will be no fire. There will be no three elements of fire. So that's fire prevention. Right? Same story here also in the health. Prevention is better than cure. Okay, thank you so much for watching mga kapatid kong hitan. I hope you like it yung mga tulad ng tanan. In fairness. Okay? Thank you so much for watching this topic. Liver function test to test if our liver is functioning and working properly. Thank you, bye-bye everybody. See you later for my another topic all about science, health, safety, and music. May music talaga siya. Yes, later we'll be having the music. Okay? Because my contents are 4. Okay? Science, health, safety, and music. Wow! Parang, komplikaditados. Charot! Charots lang. And also, personal plugins. Bye-bye, God bless everybody. See you later. I hope you can click the notification bell for some newest updates if I am a signature na voice. And you can also share if you want to. And you can subscribe to my channel if you want to. Bye-bye, God bless everybody. See you later. Nakakaloka. Diba? Huy! Okay, in fairness. Nabuang mani eh. Hoy. Ganon.